bá sí àwa èmi tí ń dúró wájú yìí tí ń lérí ogun tí ní òkè Buhari nìṣó ká máa bá lọ. Kò lè di president. Ó ṣe kìíní olùlẹ̀. Ó ṣe kejì olùlẹ̀. Ó ṣe kẹta olùlẹ̀. Ó tiẹ̀ sunkún lórí tẹlifíṣàn pé láyé òun ò tún rán mọ́. Mo dẹ̀ lọ bá ń Kaduna wà rán ọ̀rọ̀ ẹkún kọ́ lélẹ̀. Àdúró tiẹ̀ wà á dẹ̀ wọlé. Nǹkan kan ní pé o ò ní fọ̀rọ̀ orílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá ṣeré. Ó dẹ̀ gbà. Àtijọ́ tó yẹ ti débẹ̀ mi ò gba mínísítà mi ò gba contract mi ì tọrọ ọbẹ̀ mi ì tọrọ gàrí mi ì tọrọ fúra lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ mi ì dẹ̀ ìyàwó ń bẹ̀ ó wá ní lọ́tẹ̀ yìí o Yorùbá ló kàn. Tá a bá dẹ̀ sa Yorùbá náà èmi ló kàn. Eléyìí tí mo protect àwọn ọmọ tí mo gbé dání tó èmi náà fẹ́ ṣe present.
Well, the comments you just watched by frontline APC presidential hopeful Bola Tinubu is still eliciting reactions as expected, as the former secretary to the government of the Federation, Babachir Lawal, has dismissed Tinubu's claims about single-handedly installing President Muhammadu Buhari in 2015, while he condemned the manner in which Tinubu sought to convey his feelings, especially his choice of language and perceived lack of consideration for his audience. While referring to Tinubu, the former SGF said, and I quote, "He wasn't the only one whose support made a difference. There were many others from all around the country, and they're not bragging about it." End of quote.
Well, let's hear from the man himself. Yes, Bola Tinubu has said in his recent speech in Abeokuta on his presidential ambition, did not demonstrate any disrespect to President Muhammadu Buhari. A statement by the Director of Media and Communications, Tinubu Presidential Campaign Organization, Bayo Ononuga, says at no time did Tinubu play any ethnic card or denigrate any ethnic group. He notes that the main thrust of Tinubu's presentation was that his huge contributions to the formation and electoral success of the ruling APC should count in his favor as a true party man who desires to be the flag bearer.
Well, despite that clarification by Bola Tinubu, there are indications that the All Progressives Congress may wield the big stick on the frontline presidential aspirants of the party. While briefing journalists moments ago, the national chairman of the APC said the party may punish him over his comments against President Muhammadu Buhari. Adamu also said no presidential hopeful has been disqualified from contesting at the party's presidential primary slated for Monday.
All right, to discuss this development further, we're now being joined by the former secretary to the government of the Federation and the chieftain of the Tinubu campaign organization, the man Babachir Lawal himself. Thanks so very much for joining us on Newsnight. You were flustered and you couldn't swallow your tongue in even condemning your own support for Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Well, there's no hiding it. What he said was not very charitable, and I still stand by my comments that he wasn't the only one that made President Buhari.
What was derogatory about his statement? What did you find that was derogatory? Because the media team came out to explain that he's still a loyal party man. He's just saying that the humongous investment, he put into the formation of the party and the success of the party at the polls.
Yes.
Anything wrong with that?
I was the first to, if I remember very well, for the past 3 years, I've been narrating what Bola Tinubu's contribution was into making Buhari president. I've been saying it. I know it because I was part of the process that brought Buhari to presidency. From 2011, when we went out looking for allies which can make Buhari successful at the election, we approached Bola as the only person that we knew could bring block votes. And after once Bola was convinced that Buhari should be the candidate, he did spare enough his resources or his efforts to contribute to that effort. But be that as it may, no one person can make person a president of Nigeria. You know, even before we got at that stage, before we went looking out for Bola, Buhari had consistently recorded around 11 million votes. Those votes helped make Buhari president. So to claim that he single-handedly made Buhari president appears to be an arrogant assumption.
Right, arrogant assumption, like you have put it, but now his campaign team, which you are actually a part of, has not come out to say he was misinterpreted. But one wonders, I remember I saw a video of you picking up the form on behalf of Bola Tinubu from the APC National Secretary at the time when the, tickets were made available. That means you're quite close. And one wonders, did you try to reach out to him privately before you lambasted him the way you did in public regarding his comments about not just the president but the party in general?
Bola Tinubu is a very experienced politician. He's a very experienced media personality. He even owns a television station. He owns newspapers. All his life he has been very good at media activities. So he should know when you make such public assertions, the response should be public.
But did you reach out privately is the question, sir?
I don't need to reach out to him. He didn't reach out as close as I was to him. It was incumbent on him to let us know that this is what I'm going to say or I intend to say this. You could, as I said in my write-up, you could imagine the discomfort of all those people around him when he was, I'm a Buhari man. And at no day, any day at all you disparage the president, I will defend him. Just like I would defend Bola Tinubu. But there's one thing, you must tell truth to power. There's no hiding. Part of the reasons why we are where we are at is sycophancy is too much. Now, you look at the scenario. Bola is somebody that listens very, very well. In fact, he listens to everybody. So my reading of what happened was that the APC has not been very transparent and very forthcoming in the way they handle issues leading up to Monday's convention. There are a lot of things, information that ought to have been in the public domain that are only known to those who have the duty to make it public. For example, just here, I've seen the list of those who are going to contest, those who have been cleared. 3 days to election, we don't know the candidates. That is not good information management. And what are the consequences of this? They put a lot of pressure on the candidates. APC has been going through all manner of needless crisis. First of all, there was the issue of why did they extend the sale of forms? Why did they extend the closure of the submission of forms? Why did they, this gives rise to conspiracy theories. Good luck Jonathan is coming in, that's why they extended all sorts of things. Put a lot of pressure on the candidates. And Nigerians being who we are, we like conspiracy theories. So
you are in the kitchen cabinet of Mr. President, just like you said. You're very close to him, and you defend him any day, anytime. Tell us who his preferred candidate is. Does he have one? Then two. He does have one, yes. Tell us that. And two, how has the comment made by Bola Tinubu likely to jeopardize his chances of picking the APC presidential ticket?
I'm no more in the kitchen cabinet of the president, but my knowledge of him and my ability to read his body language, I can comment on what he thinks about this. Buhari is a consummate politician. He's a Democrat. He's somebody that likes to do things by the rule of law. And it is not likely that Buhari would influence the screening committee, for example, to drop people. The APC constitution and I think the Electoral Act is very clear. If you drive for consensus, and even among the 21, if one doesn't want to go along with consensus, it's incumbent on it to conduct primaries. So the president is aware of this. While he is not somebody that likes a crowded field because he thinks it's unmanageable, because he thinks the post-election crisis might be bigger the more the people, he's not somebody that is likely to impose a candidate on Nigerians. That is my reading of him. His body language, his behavior so far has indicated that he's someone that will give a level playing field. But as we all know, typical of Nigerians, when a president makes a comment, the interpretations in the millions, depending on your point of view. So we create crisis, needless crisis.
Absolutely.
Around what the president says and what he did not say.
Well, at the end of the day, the presidential primaries is in a matter of days, so we'll get that clarity when that time comes. But in the meantime, I want to actually stay with Bola Tinubu because I know you're a huge supporter of him. And for you who are a former vice chairman of the APC, you were in the heart of the formation of the party. What exactly do you think went wrong that led to Bola Tinubu making the kind of comments he made in Ogun State last week?
And that's what I told you. The conspiracy theories going around the country is too much. He's only human. And if I go spiritual, I might say the devil had him on that day. And that's if I go spiritual. But it's assuming he was stressed. I think he was very, very stressed. I mean, the stories are Buhari doesn't like you. When we tell him Buhari has no reason not to like you, somebody else might come and say, hey, I was with the president yesterday, and he told someone who told someone who told someone that you will never be president. All these things impact on you as a person, and no matter how strong you are. But I want to make one thing clear. We are not supporting Bola Tinubu because he's a Yoruba man. And we are not supporting Bola Tinubu because he contributed to Buhari's emergence. The sense of entitlement is not there. This is a democracy. And you don't buy a presidential ticket. You campaign for it. You lobby for it. It's not because I did this, I ought to become president. And Bola understands this. And that is why all these years we have been working hard, very, very hard, to say that Bola takes the preeminent position when it comes to APC tickets. It's not about, because we know the guy deserves it, first of all. That is true, because he's qualified, he's experienced, he's intelligent, he's a very good economist, he's an accountant. He has done it, he has demonstrated it. And coming to the Nigerian context.
So despite his comments, you still support him and you still believe he deserves to actually fly the flag of the APC in 2023?
I tell you, if I want Nigeria to progress, which I do, if I want Nigeria to be safe and economically buoyant, I have no choice but to support Bola Ahmed Tinubu because I cannot see any alternative in the horizon. I cannot see.
Not even the vice president?
The vice president, I was just,
the words out of my mouth.
Who's been part of the government for 7 years.
That is what I told you. There's no sense of entitlement here. Being the vice president doesn't mean you have automatic ticket to take over.
So the party is not thinking of continuity here now?
I am not the party. Continuity with Bola. Bola Tinubu was a senator, he was a governor, he was a party leader here. So if it's continuity, the man to continue with this, Ahmed Bola Tinubu.
But that's not in the APC. All the positions he's actually held were not in the APC. He was governor, not under the APC, compared to Professor Yemi Osinbajo, who is the vice president under the APC, a party which you helped form.
My sister, Yemi Osinbajo was not in the APC. He was, if anything, he was not a politician when Bola brought him as accountant, attorney general of the party. He was from the academia. So it's when they made him commissioner that I think obviously he could claim he was ACN or AC, whatever they were. But nobody is, Buhari himself was CPC, so you cannot say Buhari was not an APC man. The sense of entitlement is not there. I was in the government. I was in the government, and I know the duties of the vice president. Is a spare tire.
Wow.
The Constitution has no defined roles for the vice president, except that he chairs the Economic Council.
Exactly, but without a vibrant economy, no country can be seen as progressive.
And we're a vibrant economy, aren't we?
Well, it's not been as vibrant as it's been in the last couple of years.
Babachir Lawal should answer this. You answer that question because you were part of the government until 3 years ago when the alleged fraud scandal, that is in court now, is sub judice, not to discuss it, right? So the economy is not vibrant? It's not doing well? No, we should ask you.
This economy is not doing well as it should. Whatever the reasons are, I can tell you, as a Nigerian operating in this economy, it's not doing well as it should.
Isn't that a big minus for the All Progressives Congress as a party and as a government?
What we used to tell Nigerians is that what we inherited, we didn't expect it to be that way. No, that's
7 years ago now.
Yes.
Nigerians wouldn't want to hear. I mean, propaganda, you are in government and you are still propagating what you inherited. Nigerians are tired of that. Aren't you tired of that slogan? It's a fun song.
My friend, there are other things that mitigate your ability to perform. When I was SGF, I remember oil, a barrel of oil fell down to almost $30 a barrel, from 100 and something. The production fell down to around 900 barrels from 2 point something barrels. All this aggregated means there was this little income with which you could do anything.
Hasn't been blocked now.
What? Well,
because oil is selling well over 120, 130.
Right?
Why is there still that leakage? Why is Nigeria not reaping from it? That's what Nigerians are asking.
Despite the PIA being in place.
Let me tell you, I was talking to one of the senior officers in the oil industry just recently. By chance, I ran into him somewhere. And his complaint was very miserable that oil theft has increased exponentially to the effect that the oil stolen is almost getting to the level of the ones we are able to sell. So there are so many other dimensions that affect the ability of the government to execute programs economically.
Well, let's look ahead to the convention. Well, it's just in a matter of days right now. What strategies are you looking to come up with, especially looking at what some would actually regard as the damage that has been done to the campaign of Bola Tinubu?
No damage has been done.
I'm just saying that is what some are saying, but you are in his team, so you can clarify that. But the strategies to ensure that the delegates who show up there vote for him, and why do you think he deserves to fly the flag of the party?
Too many questions in that. First of all, we have no doubt that Bola Tinubu will on Monday's convention. There's no doubt, absolutely no doubt. We believe it. We've put the strategies in place. We've marketed our candidate. We've interacted with the delegates, and we know their feelings. They've arrived in town, and we have them
locked up.
Well, not locked up, but we're...
But are you saying to us right now, because the president has actually made his views known that he wants to pick his own successor, and maybe the party might just go the same way it went with the national convention to pick a consensus candidate. Are you telling us that Bola Tinubu is that consensus candidate? Because you're so confident.
I read that speech. I read the president's speech to the governors. I could not find why he said he was going to pick. Buhari cannot say he will pick his successor in a country of 20 million votes, 200 million people, of which about 100 and something are voters.
I did say his desire doesn't mean it is what it will be, but his desire to continue in the legacy projects that is put on ground.
It's fair if he desires to know who his successor will be, but he did not say it is in his hands to choose. It's desire. I desire who would want to take over from Buhari.
The Jonathan phenomenon does, being everywhere.
That's crap. Good
Look, my friend. We are APC. We went around the country. We campaigned against PDP. How bad they were as a government, how bad their leadership style was, how bad Goodluck was as a leader. Then what do we go around to tell people again if Goodluck is our president? Oh, Goodluck is now changed. He's now an excellent president. Like somebody told me, we swallow our vomit. We are not pigs that will swallow our vomit. It's impossible, morally and practically impossible for APC to go out and campaign with Goodluck Jonathan as its presidential candidate. Maybe years after we would have gone, But what do we tell you, after all we said about the PDP government?
And are you even still saying no?
Well, at the end of the day, that has been laid bare with the fact that he wasn't even listed amongst the 23 who made it through the screening. Babachir Lawal, former Secretary to the Government of the Federation and, of course, an APC chieftain. Thank you for joining us.